Alright, Illegal3 here, and today we're going to do a video. This is kind of a by request video. I'm going to call it Bulls and Bears, which is kind of a reference to commodity trading. If anybody knows anything about stocks or commodities, bullish markets are ones that have been increasing or rising in price, and bearish, the opposite, decreasing or dropping in price. And these are just some examples of couple stacks, and we're going to go through these cards fairly quickly, but I'm going to talk about the prices, and a lot of this is just based off my memory. I've always been good with dates and numbers, not necessarily like advanced math, like, you know, trigonometry and all that stuff. I'm not good at that, but I'm just good at like basic numbers and remembering stuff. So this stack is the Bears pile. There's actually a couple of cards in here that I kind of will talk about kind of as a wild card. They've kind of gone, you know, down, up, and then down. So, or let's see, up, down, up. I don't know. I'm trying to explain it. So let's do these stacks. So here's our first bear, and it's an Alex Rodriguez SP foil. Now his stuff has cooled, and it's kind of remained down in the cellar. And I think the main reason for that, as most people know, is the steroids. He's kind of known as a clubhouse diva. I know there's a book that came out about the Yankees in, I think, like 2008 or something. It's just kind of portrayed him, where there's just different examples of him being kind of like a diva, kind of thinking he's better than everybody, narcissistic. He seems like that kind of guy. I don't know him personally. That's just the perception I get from stuff I've heard. So this is his SP foil, mint 9. I know before all that, this card was worth much more than it is now. I want to say over 200. Right now, I believe it's like an $85 to $100 card, which is, I think that's a steal considering the SP foil and how much the Derek Jeter goes for. So I'm going to hold on to this one. It's a cool card. This was one of the wild card ones, because I know back in 2004 I went to some card shows, and they had this Barry Bonds Topps traded, and he was kind of all the rage back in 2004. You know, he had hit the 73 home runs in 2001, and all his PSA stuff was going nuts, like the 87 Fleer and 86 Fleer update. This is his Topps traded, and I don't have the exact prices back then in 2004. I tried to look it up and I couldn't find it. I'm sure they're going for way more than they are now. This card's actually back above $100 to $150 now, and last year at this time it was going for about $30. So there is an increase in Bonds cards. I think there's a strong belief that he will get into the Hall of Fame, which I believe he will too, and I think he deserves it too. And the whole steroid thing is something, it's a matter of opinion, so I'm not going to go into that. But so Barry Bonds, a wild card guy, because his stuff was high, it dropped a lot, and now it's starting to gain a little steam, not close to what it was. Here's a great example: 2003 Ultimate Collection, Larry Johnson, beautiful card. It's an on-card auto. It's actually signed on the serial number, and I think it's 239 of 250. The 2005 season is when Larry Johnson came in for Priest Holmes, because he got hurt. And 2005, Larry, he rushed for like 1,700 yards, averaged over 5 a carry, and his stuff had been pretty cheap. And during that off season, you just saw a crazy bump in Larry Johnson prices. And this card, in unison with the playoff contenders ticket to 344, saw rises over $400, if you can believe it. I believe this card raw hit 400 to 450 at one point. They were selling steady over 300 in the fall of 2006, and that's kind of when his stuff peaked, because he had a good 2006 season, but not like 2005. So you can get this card now for $10. So that's happened so many times with running backs, though, so it's not like a rare example. I'm going to go back to the 2006 season. That's when Tomlinson broke the rushing touchdowns record. I think he had 31. And this is Topps debut, 2001, out of 499. Beautiful on-card auto. And Back in 2006 is when Tomlinson's stuff all peaked. I believe I saw this card sell for over $300 back then, and now you can pick it up for about 50 bucks. So beautiful card if you're a fan of college cards and on-card autos. Here's a card I have a ton of because he's a 10,000 yard rusher. I was always a fan of him, and it's just an overall neat looking card. So it's the Jamal Lewis SPX 2000, and it's out of 2000 as well. And this is kind of one of the first years. Actually, it's the first year that SPX did the relic and the auto. In '99 they did just the auto, and they were numbered out of 1999. Some were out of 500. We're getting too in depth on this stuff, but this card peaked in the year the Ravens won the Super Bowl, which was his rookie year. I believe this card was over $200 at one point. Now you can get them for about $7. So Jamal Lewis, beautiful card. I'm in my basement filming this, and the lighting just is so annoying down here. So hopefully this comes out okay. This is actually one of my favorite cards of all time, and it's a simple card, but this kind of brings me back to my childhood. When he came onto the scene, I was just mesmerized by his talent. 98 Upper Deck Star Rookie. These were inserted 1 per 4 packs, and there was 24 packs in a hobby box. You got 6 rookies per hobby box. I believe there were 50 to 100 Star Rookies. This was not an easy pull. This was a tough pull, and back in the day this was a $60–70 card, and now you can get them for about $5. And we all know he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. This is one of the most underrated cards in the hobby, in my opinion. And here's another one, Edgerrin James. His stuff peaked, I'd say, his rookie year, and that's what's common for a lot of players because that's when all the hype is there. If they don't continue to climb, I mean, it's almost impossible to match your rookie hype for some players. So this is the Future Watch, and it was SP Authentic out of 1999, and this one got over $300 back in I think early 2000. So this was a pretty big card. Now they're about $20, so very affordable Edge rookie. He will be in the Hall eventually. Robert Griffin III. This is an Elite from 2012 out of $6.99. I used to pick these and Lux Up in auction, and they were about $25. 25 to 30 is what they were getting when they first came out. I think Lux still goes for about 15 to 20, and I think this one's worth about $1 or $2. So Robert Griffin's kind of lost all his hobby, and that's just because of all the injuries, and he's not on the team. This is a player that I went nuts on in the summer of 2015, Francisco Lindor. So I was picking these up for 20 to 25 a pop. This is the Prospect Base Auto from 11 Chrome Draft. And I didn't have one that was raw because I like to get all my stuff slab now. It's just the way I collect, you know. I mean, people go through phases, so I don't know how long, if that'll last forever. I'm gonna guess it will though. So I think this card was going over $200, and I think it's cooled off because he's cooled off this season some. So still a hot card. It's probably going like 120 to 150. So Francisco Lindor is our first bear, and of course this card's not like a strong bear, but it has steadily risen over the past 7 years. So the 1989 Donruss Griffey, which I've talked about so many times, but it's just one of my favorite cards, and it was about $35 to $40 7 years ago, and it's kind of steadily climbed to like 65, 70. So nothing crazy on this one, but I think it'll continue to rise up in the future. So this is the PSA 10. Now a lot of these cards I wanted to show in raw form, but I just didn't have copies of them. So this is the PSA 10 LeBron Topps. Last year, before they won, the Cavs came back and won the title. This card raw was going for about 20 to 25, and now they're up to like 50 to 70. So this is a card that's almost tripled in value in about a year's time, and I think it's going to continue to rise. So LeBron Topps, just a basic Topps. It's a cool picture holding up the Cavs jersey. And then I can't remember the exact prices on this one, but this is actually one of my favorite players of all time, just because his story and you know, I'm a fan of Vic, so I love comeback stories. Josh Hamilton. Now, this is in the, this is kind of more of a wild card one, because it wasn't worth that much, and then he signed with the Reds, and then he was picked up by Texas, and then, you know, after the 2008 Home Run Derby, and he actually won an MVP in 2010, I believe. Josh Hamilton, this Topps traded auto, went nuts. I believe they were like $400 to $500 raw, and now I think they go for, I'm just guessing here, $60 maybe. So Topps traded auto of Josh Hamilton. This is another wild card one. So the LT contenders, I didn't have one raw. I had the Speculate 5 I was going to show. So just think of it. Think of the card. I'm talking about it raw, but I'm holding up one that's graded, if that makes sense. So 2006 is when this card peaked as well. Raw, they were going for over $600, and then they dropped all the way to like 125 to 150, kind of like when he was on the Jets and stuff, and his stuff started to taper off. And now they've been slowly climbing. He'll be in the Hall of Fame here in a couple years. So currently, this card, I think they're going for a little over 300 raw, and I think they're going to steadily climb up. And then we got this card. I used to pick these up raw for about 90 to 100, 90 to 100, I'd say. It's the Pros and Prospects Brady out of 1,000. This card's just gone through the roof. I've got a bunch of PSA 10s of this because it's not a tough set, and I was buying them raw in about it's probably 2012, 2013. This is when they were going for that. I thought they were a steal. I should have bought all of them I could, but I was too focused on Robert Griffin, so there's a mistake there. I believe this card raw is worth, I'm just guessing here, guys, I don't know, 400 to 500 now. But so it's climbed about 4 to 5 times, or 400 to 500% jump. And then Bryce Harper, this is the Chrome refractor. It's not slab because it's got a scratch, and it's most likely like a 7 or 8. It's out of 500. It's the Prospect Auto. This one's steadily risen. I know his base auto is going for about 600 to 700, so this one's probably like 900 to 1100, something like that. But I know I picked these up in the past for about half of that, or maybe even less. So Bryce Harper, Prospect Auto to 500 is the last bull. So you guys saw how drastic the card market can be, and how prices can just go nuts on certain cards and players. So be careful with what you collect or invest in. There are dramatic turns, and be careful paying top dollar for running backs. That's all I'm going to say. Later.